Hi everyone, my name is Hannah Bowen. So I did, of course, semester in the city this semester. This is me. So I'm working at Union Capital Boston, which is a 501c3 nonprofit in Boston. And one of the things that our model really relies on is building trusting relationships. So I'm going to model a little one-on-one with you guys and kind of give you a little bit of my life story. So I came into school thinking I was going to become a marine biologist, and that dream quickly did not become a reality as I found out that my brain is just not meant to do biology. It was not something that I was good at, even though I tried very, very hard. So the school, took that as a heads up. And then I was on academic probation for a semester. So I know that sounds really scary, and at the time it was. It was one of the hardest things that I've ever been through in my life so far. But through the help of my parents, instead of going home and getting under my covers for a few months and pretending the world didn't exist, I actually got a job as a nanny. And as a nanny, I was watching this 5-year-old girl named Avery grow and learn, and suddenly my eyes were opened to the magic of human development and everything that entails. And considering we all go through it, you think it'd be something that you would think about on a daily basis, but I had never realized how important it was before. So instead of spending my semester under my covers, I spent my semester with a 5-year-old girl named Avery, and I found my path. So my passion now is human development and family studies. I am a last semester senior. I'm graduating in May, which is pretty exciting, finally getting there. But through the experience of the school being like, you need to take a break. You need to sit back and you need to think about what you wanted to do. I suddenly had a drive that I did not know was inside of me. And I came back with a vengeance for success to school. I started getting A's, and I started loving the feeling of getting good grades. My GPA slowly was rising from a 1.2 to a 2.3. So that was pretty exciting. And that, the 2.3 isn't like the best thing in the world, but like to me, I was so proud of it. It was amazing. And then semester in the city came to campus, and they required 2.5. So I found them the first semester they were doing it. I went through pretty much all the steps, but I realized that I couldn't fully apply because of my GPA. But instead of just giving up on that dream, I worked harder. So the first semester of my freshman year, I came out with all A's and 1 B+. It was 0.02 points away from a perfect 4.0, which I never thought was possible. I never thought I could do that. But for this program, I wanted to, because I understood how important it was to be able to experience life in the city working for a nonprofit and following a dream that I didn't know I had until a few years prior. So that's my life story. So one of the things that we do at Union Capital is, again, practice one-on-ones. So you sit down with people that we are helping through our organization, and you learn their life story, and in turn, you're telling them yours. So Union Capital, we are a 501c3 nonprofit. That just means that we're tax deductible. We don't pay taxes to the government because we are a nonprofit. We're tax exempt. So our mission is to transform social capital into opportunity by rewarding community. Does anybody know what social capital is? Yeah, some head nods here and there. So it's a network of relationships among people who live and work in a particular society, and those relationships benefit the society as a whole. So a good story of this was I was running late to class one day, of course, the one important day we were doing presentations, and I needed to get an Uber. So I'm in the Uber, and the poor Uber driver, I am spilling my life story to this guy. I'm like, I'm supposed to be in class like early today, and of course I'm running late. I'm having like this problem, I'm like stressed out, and I'm looking for an apartment. So of course, we're going along the ride, and the guy's like, oh, okay, like listening to this crazy woman in his back seat, like hyperventilating. And we get to the stop, and he goes, oh, I just wanted to give you my business card. And of course, I'm like, oh, this guy, probably thinks that I'm a nut job, but good for him, he's giving me his card. Turns out he was a realtor. So that was an exchange of social capital. He was looking for somebody to find an apartment for, and I was looking for a realtor. So that's just an example of social capital that I've experienced while living in the city. Uber also is fantastic down there. You get it in 2 minutes flat, which is so crazy to me because it takes like 20 minutes up here. So UCB, we are a mobility-based rewards program for community involvement. So what we do is we work with low-income individuals and families in the community in Boston, and we allow them to make just some extra side money to support their needs. So again, we're an app-based program. It's really easy to use, so I'll explain it for you here. So you log on, you need to gain access to this. Not everybody can do this. You have to be a member of UCB to get into this. But you get on our home page here. We have all of the events listed right here. And as an intern, I put these events into the app. I've learned some basic coding skills, which is pretty impressive, I think. I've put up to just about over 1,000 events into our app now in the past 14 weeks. So that's a daily thing that I do during my internship. So people come in, they say if they're at one of these events, and they gain points for it. The points give you reward tiers, so you can earn anywhere between $50 to $600 a year. We cap it at $600 because then our members can't lose any of the benefits they get. You can't lose food stamps for $600. So that's why we cap it there. But 50, it helps people buy diapers for their babies. It helps people pay a bill that's been haunting them for months. You can't make a living off doing UCB. It's just trying to help. So we find our events through our partners. We have about 13 partners right now, but that does change kind of on a weekly basis. We're adding some, we're taking some away. So they pay into our model, and we promote their events with double points. So if we get an event from any of these people, and you attend it, you get double points for going. So it's an incentive to go to their events. And we get members through them. So if you live in an Urban Edge, which is a building community down there, and you're interested in Union Capital, they'll sign you up. And then you get double points for anything you go to for Urban Edge. And then these are some of the events that count. This is just a few. There is 100 events that can count. So a Civic Engagement series, which is really cool. They're restarting this again. This one specifically is for the KIPP schools, which is a charter school down in Boston. And you go for an 8-week program. And this one is serving as a member of a board of directors. So you learn what it means to be on a board, what it takes. Community days, we do a lot of parenting classes. We advertise a lot of parenting classes because that's something that we feel is extremely important in community. In order to raise a better generation, you need to know how. And then you can get points for going to your child's anything at their school. If you go to a parent-teacher conference, you'll get points for that, which I think is super cool. It's exciting. So why does what we're doing matter? Kind of in the long run, why bother? Why is somebody doing this? Well, Boston has the greatest income inequality of any city in America. That's not great. It's not good, and we want to do something to change that. So through our program, the unemployment rate of our members when they start is 22%. Over the course of a year, by adding community involvement, the unemployment rate drops to 15%. We're not a job placement agency. We are not giving our members jobs. We are just making them more involved in their communities, and through those connections, they're gaining employment. These are two of our members. This is Diana and Daisy. So these are both people that I have become very close with over the course of this semester. I favor both of their friendships very highly in my life. So Diana actually recently got a job. She was volunteering at a mental health clinic, just whatever hours she could get in, and they ended up offering her a job after the end of 2 months. And she found them through UCB. She also just opened her own food bank out of her house to help serve people in the community because she realized how underutilized that was. And then this is Daisy. She is awesome. As Jules is my roommate, she knows. Daisy and I have a very special relationship. She's been teaching me Spanish. So every week I go to her house, I've met her kids, I've met her husband. She teaches me Spanish and I teach her how to use her email, which sometimes is a little difficult because you're like, what do you mean you don't know where send is? But it's great. We're building a really trusting relationship. She actually does all the childcare for our UCB events. So she always loved kids. She has 2 of her own, but she wanted to do more. So we allowed her through UCB to kind of follow her passion and watch kids. So she has like huge bins of games that she brings to all of her events, and she's fantastic. And then this is UCB. So we have only been in existence for about 3 years now. We are technically still considered a startup. This is me, this is my mentor Laura, that's Anna, and that's Eric. Eric is the one that originally started the idea of UCB, and this was taken about 3 weeks ago on a really windy day. We just got out of a 2.5-hour long conference on community involvement, and we fooled around a little bit, took some photos, so that was great. And then what's next for me is today, actually, I find out if I got into City Year in Manchester. So through UCB and the connections that I've made, I realized that I do have a passion for helping communities, and I want to come back to New Hampshire and help a community that's closer to my heart, and that's Manchester. So helping kids in Manchester is kind of my next step. I find out today if I get in or not, so I'm very excited. And then if you want to find anything else out about UCB, feel free, you can come talk to me, ask me any questions you want. I know everything, so that's it. Thank you.